Ugh. Have you ever made a mistake? That's what I feel like right now. I feel like I have made a terrible mistake. This pyro is dead, and he is not coming back. I cannot save him. If I save him, this axe thrower is going to head right down to this crystal and smack it 3 times, and that crystal is going to be in execute range for the warrior. And there's virtually nothing I can do to stop that warrior from executing this crystal without having to spin a tidal wave. And my entire game plan revolves around me being able to prevent him from executing my crystals without burning a tidal wave. So if he gets the first one without a tidal wave, well, my game plan goes right out the window, and I'm in a very dicey situation where I have to try and figure out how to defend this top crystal, which is already extremely low, from getting poked once by a warrior with a tidal wave to move my units around. Very tough situation. So let's not do that. And instead, let's defend this crystal like our lives depends on it, because our lives do depend on it. So here's the play. The play is get the spy on the board. The spy is my best unit right now, because as soon as the axe thrower moves out on the board, the spy kills it dead. I want to snipe at it so that ideally I can bait out the meat later on, but in the worst case, he just has to spend a turn healing, and in that situation, the push gets slowed down. And all I'm trying to do is buy time right now. Time is all I need. The reason that it's important to bait out his last meat is because this shaman up here can actually come 1, 2, 3. And if he's raged, he can meet this crystal for 1250 damage, I believe, is the exact number. Let me look it up. It's 450 times 2.75 is it's 1235, which is basically it's virtually its entire life. But if he has to spend his last meat trying to get through to this bottom crystal, well, he can't do that anymore. And if he loses meat, that also means that he doesn't get any more free healing later on. And so right now what I'm saying is, with this move, is if you want to come take 3 shots at this crystal, I'm going to punish you for it hard. And that punishment is going to probably look like 2 shots to the face, either from moving the spy up here and then stomping, and then moving a medic up to basically block the route to this back crystal. I'm very worried about my top crystal now. Say he comes up 1, 2, hits this 3 times. And then he actually comes up here. You know, it's actually like 1, 2, meat attack, and then poke. Brings this top crystal down to like 300 life roughly. Or if he goes onto the attack tile, even less. And then he could basically save his executes for the bottom crystal, which would be even harder for me to deal with. So that's a little scary thing to think about. There's another play that I could make, and it's a little silly. it basically just puts all hands on deck to save this crystal. And I'm wondering if that might not be a better move. Just to not even give up the 3 axe thrower pokes. Maybe I lose an engineer or something. But I get better position. And I get that medic back on the board. And then if he advances on this position, I can use the pyro to kill the axe thrower. And I'd pretty much give up any 2 units I had for this axe thrower to prevent him from getting damage on my bottom crystal. Because as long as that bottom crystal stays at 2,000 health, it actually doesn't matter that he has his last tidal wave. Because it's going to be really hard for him to get 800 damage and then an execute on it, even with a tidal wave. Like, that's asking a lot. But this move might actually be better, because all these guys here are going to take 3 AP to deal with. They all take 3 AP. And if he does that, and then just retreats again, or tries to even reposition down here, like, if I lose a sniper, so what? Because my medic can come here, or come here, depending on which unit he gets. And then I can upgrade my medic, and then heal whichever unit he hit twice. And then he's got to deal with, well, it's just a tempo thing, really. It buys me some turns to get my medic back out on the field and upgraded. This might actually be a better play. I'm just nervous about giving up those 3 hits. I'm worried that I won't be able to defend my top crystal, and he'll be able to get it without using a tidal wave. And if that's the case, then it might be lights out for me. God, that last move I made was so bad. I really regret it. All I had to do was like move my pyro out to like here, and then put my spy like here on this attack tile, or vice versa. It's like all I had to do. And I would be in such better position right now. It's ridiculous to think how much better position I'd be in if I had done that instead. But now I have like very few threats on the board because that second pyro is dead. And this back pyro is tied up with the sandwich, and he's been useless all game, except for protecting my side of the board, which has helped. Don't get me wrong, it's helped. I actually think this is a decent move. It's decent. It doesn't develop my board at all, but he has to kill units to get to my crystal. There's a lot to be said for that. Because I have units to spare right now, and he doesn't. And if he kills any of my units, well, if he kills any of my units, then he's putting his units in danger. The only move I can see that might be really good for him be to move Axor here, kill this sniper, and then deploy his last witch and move it on the attack tile. But in that case, I could move this guy down and deploy the spy and move the spy here. And then probably attack the axe thrower once. And then he's got to start worrying about healing. And if we get into a healing war, well, that's good news for me, because then he's attacking my units, not my crystals. Okay. And then his last meat would be gone in that case too. Well, I think this is the best of bad options. Feel like that last move may very well cost me the game, unfortunately though. I may have already lost it. We'll see.